Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Crashers podcast. It is November 16th, 2019. I'm Angelus de Mortiel, joined once again by Glorious Kev.
Glorious!
Sorry, hold on. We also have Lila. Yeah, Xaiphen's also here, although I'm not sure he can hear.
I mean, I understand you guys couldn't keep
I don't know
up
if
with
anybody
that,
got the Archer reference right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody's seen Archer, knows that one. Lila Rose is also with us tonight.
What up?
Allegedly.
Kind of, sort of.
What?
Nobody's gonna get that reference
You're
though.
trolling me again.
You're on. Everybody can hear you.
It's what week are we trolling, Rose?
Yes, we are finally back after like a month without the podcast. October is a busy month. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So many games. So many games.
Yeah.
So much going on.
Pretty busy.
I mean, literally, it is when you talk about busy months of the year. You know, like you see like the Christmas with the Cranks or whatever. How like insane families get around Christmas decorating. That's literally Xaiphen for October.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
I mean, that's me for October too, but
we,
it's just
we
games.
host an amateur haunted house in our garage.
Yeah. There's pictures of it up in our Discord.
Now,
and
like when I say amateur,
insane.
I go by the strict definition of amateur versus professional, as we don't charge money for it. That's what I mean by amateur.
Mhm.
But the growth that we have with it, eventually you'll get to the point where we will be able to start charging money and people would be willing to pay. When I hear people say things like, yeah, this is the place I told you about.
They've got that reputation. People are like,
We know we're doing something
it's that
right.
house.
Or
Yep.
you're doing something wrong and they try to keep the kids away from it.
No, there's kids that come up and like just nope the fuck out before they even get into the doorway.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have a white van outside, do you, with free kittens on it, right?
I would be legitimately
No free puppy
worried
vans.
with what Xaiphen would do if he had like a 100-acre farm. It would.
Well,
it
the
would
fact that
There's
that
everywhere.
I am one of the props, the Slenderman prop that we have going on there, and it creeps people out because I do a pretty good animatronic imitation or automaton, like old 20th century, beginning of the 20th century automatons. I've got that like stuttering movement when it comes to a stop where it doesn't because it's too heavy for the motors. And like it fools people, and they'll come up they'll look a little scared at first, and they're like, "Oh, that's not real. It's not real." And then I'll talk to them, and they're like, "What the fuck, man?"
So Xaiphen, have you ever seen the games Five Nights at Freddy's?
I've seen some
Yes.
playthrough on those. Heard a lot of
God,
music.
my son is obsessed with those games.
I would say
I
check
like the
out
soundtracks.
Markiplier's playthroughs of them. It's he's or if you want just kind of theory roll ups. Game Theorist has some great like deep dives into it. But when you say animatronics, that's what I think of, and I'm just thinking, oh god, if you did one of those animatronics for one of your haunted houses. Nope.
We've got some, simple animatronics going on. We got a werewolf in a cage screaming and shaking to get out. We've got a headless horseless man. He doesn't have a horse, so he's a headless horseless man. We've got he's not an animatronic. He's just light up eyes, but he's just a skeleton reaper looking dude that I wired some electronics into him.
I'm gonna
There's
need
another one I
y'all to stop ruining people's childhoods with this shit.
We also have an
Because
Edwardian
these kids
butler.
after
He
leaving
breathes
Xaiphen's
at
haunted
you.
houses are gonna need therapy. They're gonna need a lot of therapy.
Oh, probably that's our goal.
That's the thing though. That's the shit you remember. I survived Xaiphen's haunted house.
They crying about it on
Edwardian
Christmas
butler
Eve.
though is fun because he breathes at you. You walk. He's in the entranceway because he's like. I'm so glad you could make it.
No,
This is kind of weird, and I want to bring this up too. I always miss his name, Blapasuya. I see you in the chat. Hello, welcome back. But I only see it. Well, actually, let me refresh my stream on my PC and I think about it. Because I see it on the actual chat in the podcast window, but I don't see it in the chat on Twitch. Twitch done broke me shit.
I see it on.
Twitch
I
is
see it on the
broken.
Twitch chat. You were just behind on the Twitch chat. However, I'm not seeing
I'm looking
stream
at
on X or YouTube.
Well,
Yeah.
no, he said it on Twitch, but I can see it like in the unified chat. I can't see it
Oh, there
on
it is.
Twitch. So like I can see him now. Well, I couldn't see him before. I thought that was weird.
Well, I see that in Pinnacle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't see Pinnacle at all.
No, there's some PodChamp. That should be, you know what? If our channel ever gets partnered one day, we will make a PodChamp emoji. That's my a PodChamp instead of PogChamp, the PogChamp emoji. Instead, we'll do a PodChamp. It'll be podcast related. There you go.
Will it just be a big pixel?
Yes.
We'll make them PlayStation size pixels, so you can see them from 2 sounds over.
Oh. See, I'm not good with that. I can't do the PlayStation pixels. I can't do those medium presets. Sorry.
That's giving PlayStation way too much credit.
It's the ergonomics of the controller. That's what the issue is.
You have to start watching Digital Foundry, because Digital Foundry will tell you the facts. Xbox One X lower than low PC settings.
That's Xbox One X, but what about?
But Xbox One X is more powerful than both of the PlayStation.
Now, Kev, is that fact spelled with an X and also a U?
Oh, ooh.
Ouch. Hey, by the way, Kev, anytime there's some console peasantry going on, I'll start speaking to you in the native language of those creatures that spin around in circles from the islands south of Australia.
I mean, but their IQ is higher than the console peasants. You might not want to.
No, because there's that.
Aren't those extinct?
What's that one?
The Tasmanian devil, aren't they extinct?
Yeah, but what did they go by short? What's the 3-letter short version?
Cows?
Speaking of console peasantry.
Anyway, no, we're not going to stay on that. Let's get to some news stories.
Stupid console peasant quotes.
Yeah. Let's stick to news stories. So, our first news story comes out of a vague story, if best. It's rumors. There is currently some talk around BioWare, and there seems to be some activity and ideas being thrown around of completely overhauling Anthem. Something kind of more akin possibly to No Man's Sky, or even Taken King from Destiny 2.
Taken King from Destiny 1.
Destiny 1.
6. I was going to say like Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege, yeah, I could see that. That is another one.
I'd even compare this kind of overhaul to Final Fantasy 14.
That is another one I'm hearing constantly coming up. Is it being akin to a Final Fantasy 14 or No Man's Sky, or it depends on the way that they end up rolling out the overhaul. If they do a series of big major patches, that would kind of be more like No Man's Sky. Which had
what I'm concerned on is like, what do they are they aware of what actually needs overhauled? Are they listening to people's complaints?
Well,
I hope so. They probably
that's a big deal right there.
Because the problem is like the things that really need to be fixed. And I mean, like to me, is the weapon variety, but at the same time, you see something like the Division where people don't mind that so much.
So
variety can build up over time. I'm looking at more. I don't know.
I think the core of Anthem is really good. Like they have some great ideas there.
Yes, I think here's my thing: is that I actually don't really think. I mean, yes, listen to consumers, listen to the players, take their feedback. The truth is that I'm not even sure if they need to go out seeking the feedback. I think they already have the ideas that the feedback would have fixed that just never got a chance to come to light with a proper development process, right? The game, by rumors, only was in full development for like 6 months. So I think just giving it its full time to bake in the oven, so to speak, would probably solve a lot of the problems that criticism was founded on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what you would call a good idea.
yeah. Well, I mean, I
Which,
I don't credit a lot of developers nowadays for having an overabundance of talent in the project management department. Star Citizen.
No.
Hey, this is game.
But no,
Actually, you know, I will say Rockstar. I think what I love about Rockstar is, for the most part, Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 4 aside, on PC anyway.
Yeah.
Their games, they usually come out, they're usually well polished, they usually work really well. They're usually, you know, good games. You could tell because Rockstar takes their time.
Yeah.
So I'll give Rockstar that credit. I might even give Naughty Dog that credit.
There's a few of them
that
like there's a lot, and it's not. I would say that there is the amount of developers that rush out these unfinished games like this is actually the vast minority.
Vast majority.
No,
minority.
Minority.
Like, especially, or maybe it's just the bigger names. So you think of like Bethesda,
yes.
EA, Activision.
Yes. Whereas
I'll give Blizzard, because Blizzard usually doesn't. Blizzard games usually come out pretty polished too.
Well, yeah,
usually.
like Blizzard games come out pretty polished. Bungie, for the most part, usually does pretty well, although they kind of fell because they were trying something new with Destiny 1, right? And they definitely
made the same mistakes in Destiny 2.
Yeah, they and I think the thing is that Destiny 2 largely felt like the core game was matured, but I think there was a lot of missed. I don't know the way to put it. There was a lot of small little things that were missed. Right.
What I listen to, like the larger, more hardcore Destiny community, I consider myself a casual Destiny player.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Destiny 2 was like a step back from Destiny 1, because it's like they forgot how Destiny 1 started and where they got you to in Destiny 2. And they didn't take the lessons learned and apply that to Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why Destiny 2 vanilla should have been worse than Year 3 Destiny 1 when they were like a year apart from each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's Destiny. The game isn't that different from 1 and 2. There are some differences, like mechanically, but the core is the same.
Well, bringing it back to Anthem, though, on here, like, the thing is that Destiny 2, yes, it definitely stumbled out of the gate a little bit, but the way that Destiny 2 stumbled was in no way as bad as how bad, like, say, No Man's Sky or Anthem stumbled out of the gate, right?
They were broken. Destiny 2 wasn't broken.
Yeah, and that's my point.
Content.
So they lacked
depth.
Well, that's the thing, is like No Man's Sky only stumbled out of the gate based on overpromise. You know, if they had told you straight out what it was, they may not have had as good of initial sales on it, but it still would not have had such huge negative feedback on it, because they pulled a Molyneux on that game.
Yes, Sean Murray is a guy that should not have been talking to the public, because he is just like Peter Molyneux. I get it. The guy's super excited. He's passionate about making the games. He has all these great ideas. He wants to do this. He wants to do this. All these cool things. And I get that. I love that. I love a developer that is passionate like that. That is amazing. But dude, breath. Hire a PR person. Let them handle the public speak. Yeah, right. You know, and that's my thing with those guys. But with Anthem,
hire the same firm that does all of Phil Spencer's tweets, and put him in charge of Sweeney's tweets, put him in charge of Sean Murray's tweets, Randy Pitchford's tweets.
Oh, good luck.
No, Randy Pitchford just needs to be the fuck out of the business.
So, to what Kat says...
but at the same time, people love his games. Like, it's not that the games are bad, it's that he says, well, I don't like the games, but a lot of people like those games.
Yeah.
What does he have to do? Like, if he were gone, would they still exist?
Yeah.
If he were gone, would those games still be there?
That's a tough one. But what Katz was saying in the chat is that Anthem can't be saved. We've been shown through past history with No Man's Skies and with even less severe versions like Destiny and other such games, that there is the capability for these games that are launched in frankly either varying degrees of broken or incomplete states, going back to the drawing board, gathering their shit together, and actually making something of the game and giving something of value for what it is.
Right, and I think the perfect example is still Final Fantasy 14, like Rose was saying, and the Division, the original Division had that same problem, so it didn't bounce back the same.
Yeah.
But Siege.
Yeah, Siege is a great one. Final Fantasy 14
was almost abandoned.
Yeah,
and they came back 6 months swinging, and now it's one of the most popular shooters out there.
And it has a huge and very lucrative esports scene behind it. Like that has gone from being a DOA.
So I don't know what it was like before.
It was a DOA. It was like people declared it DOA. Nobody touched it. It was nuclear waste. And then a year later, all of a sudden, they're like it's a complete 180.
They came back swinging.
Yeah, like
and that propelled Ubisoft to say, hey, you know, we can put these games out for multiple years and just keep updating them and keep adding content. And now everybody's copying that Ubisoft model, which is kind of funny because that's been a model on PC for years.
And now
you look at something like Dota or Counter-Strike, they've been doing that.
Was that Rose?
What do you call the genre? Like open world something.
Outpace. It's open world third person action adventure with stealth elements. But that's not what those games are. So first of all, Rainbow Six Siege is a first person like PvP shooter primarily first and foremost. It's a tactical.
It's a tactical shooter.
It's a tactical shooter.
It's a tactical PvP shooter.
Yeah. But you know, with Outpace games, those actually, for better or worse, they're not always the best games. In fact, most of the time they're extremely generic. But as far as games that get released that are actually solid, if generic, are those Outpace games like your Assassin's Creeds, your like any of most of the PlayStation 4's exclusive library, like they're actually pretty solid at release, if quite a bit generic. Usually, there's not a whole lot unique about them. They all play pretty much the same, but
that's the biggest problem behind them is it's copy and paste, reskin, launch.
Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, the audience loves that because you can't tell them nothing about it.
No,
they just feel that you're lying to them.
Yeah.
Well, look at games like Call of Duty, where they're hugely successful, but it's the same fucking game year after year.
Madden and FIFA.
COD, I don't think COD is strong.
No, COD has some. Usually has a decent bit of difference.
COD has pretty significant changes to the gameplay.
Yeah, like for example, the
different maps.
The new Modern Warfare has actually been, from what I remember, it's actually people have been saying pretty decent things about it.
Hit or miss. It's very broken on PC apparently. It crashes a lot, and the console version is which people aren't liking.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, it's mechanically solid. It's the community that's the problem that I'm hearing. And the trash.
That is absolutely not
with the shooter. The maps are everything.
But the thing is the community. Back when we all, at least Xaiphen and I played Modern Warfare 2/3 quite a bit. The community was toxic as fuck back then too. I mean, that's Call of Duty is
about half a dozen people that I found that were really nice to have a conversation with while playing.
I've found multiple lobbies like that. I think you just have to get left.
Yeah, and then you had the one British guy hop into the...
There was a nice condition of like we were all running around the same time. Some people were in different time zones, but we were all gaming at the same time. So we would just team up. We would check, like I'd get home from work, check to see if the other people were online. We'd team up and roll out for about an hour.
Yeah, but you would still get a lot of the people like the one British guy that I still to this day remember hops into the lobby. Nobody's saying anything at any point to the guy. Hops in, immediately starts saying, Americans deserve 9/11. Like that kind of thing. And I get the reasoning behind it. It's psychological warfare, right? They're trying to tilt the other players, get them pissed off, get them angry because they know that that's going to get under people's skin, and then they can use that against them in some cases. But
I confuse people. That's what I do with psychological warfare. I start singing songs that don't make any sense. Like,
and I want my sweater back.
Out of list green. It's really coming up on just.
I would start singing like the pull-up song on the offensive line when I play football. That was like people start laughing or we just fuck them
on
up.
that one because that's all original lyrics.
Yeah, but so here's but in any case, so bringing it back to Anthem on there. Now, obviously, there is the question on whether or not BioWare can do something with Anthem. Now, in my opinion, the BioWare doesn't have untalented developers. I think that in many cases they're not the same BioWare as they were 10 years ago, right? So the people expecting to have Mass Effect 2s or Dragon Age Origins or Mass Effect 1 or KOTOR or whatever, that's not going to happen ever again. I think people should put that up from their mind. You're not going to get those games like that anymore. You're going to get something different. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. That's the reason why I think BioWare needs to rebrand. Name themselves something else. Because people associate that name with Baldur's Gate, with KOTOR, with Mass Effect 1, with Dragon Age Origins.
Not as much anymore. Unfortunately, they're starting to associate that name with Andromeda.
Yeah.
You know, and
well,
not just Andromeda, but BioWare killed off Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're going to start having that. That's they're going to need to change their name based on the negative PR. Well, and the bomb game they made.
Not only forget the newer audience or the younger audience, the people like me who came in because of Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect 1 was my first BioWare game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people like that too. Like all we know are Mass Effect and Dragon Age. I've gone back and played some KOTOR, but it's aged poorly.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't have that same nostalgia for it, as opposed to something like the original Mass Effect, which I'm extremely nostalgic about. It just depends on who you're talking to.
Well, but here's my thing on here is that now my point of that is that they're not the same BioWare anymore, right? Which the thing is that that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have their own talents. It just might mean that their creative skills lie elsewhere. In which case, maybe they could make something like Anthem good. But my question on here is, at what point do these games like Final Fantasy XIV, No Man's Sky, Destiny 1, Rainbow Six Siege, etc., these games that come out full priced, launch, people buy them for money, and they are not complete? At what point should people be forgiving of studios not giving people their value at launch, and people having to wait a year or a year and a half before they get the product that they paid for?
They shouldn't have to put up with that. And at the same time, this is what we tell people all the time: don't pre-order. Hell, I got burned by it. I pre-ordered Red Dead because I wanted to.
And you're holding that L. I'm gonna keep reminding you that.
I literally bought it like 2 days before it came out.
Yep.
I can use the No Man's Sky.
Game was going to review well. I'm like, after GTA 5, there's no way they can blow this. GTA 5 port was incredible at launch. They're going to do that again. Nope. Though I think for me at least, I can't speak for everybody else. For me, the issue was the Rockstar launcher. Because the way the DRM and the Rockstar launcher is set up, anytime that launcher crashes, and it was something to do with one of the save files. I couldn't see which one it was. I noticed when I deleted the save files, I could load in, I could play. Then when it would try to overwrite the save file or load information from the save file, the whole game would crash because the launcher crashed.
Yeah,
that was something I could repeatedly recreate.
Yeah,
but then they patched it, so I couldn't find the exact.
Well,
I think it was related to the local saves. I don't know.
Well, interestingly,
I can say with No Man's Sky though that example there, I bought full price, less than a day, refunded it. I played it for a while. I tried to get interested in it, could not deal, and I refunded it. And I have no interest on repurchasing it, no matter how much they have improved upon it. And it's not holding a resentment against them. It's just they failed so hard on the first try. I don't want to make the effort. I'm too lazy to give them a second chance.
Yeah, and there's some people like that. Then there's people that, are just like me. I'm so interested in a game that I will come back. There's some people, they just get hyped and they don't care. They're going to pre-order it, and there's nothing you can tell them that they're stopping from pre-order.
Yeah, and those people that are usually going to be super hyped about that will then, after the game launches in a broken, horrible state, will then jump through mental hoops over and over again to try to find ways that they can convince themselves that it's not garbage.
Right. Look at Andromeda. Look at all the damage control we saw from Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh yeah.
I'm
like
surprised that we didn't see that for Fallout 76. So Fallout 76 was that bad too. I didn't see a lot of people damage controlling for 76.
No. But the thing is, there's a difference. So with Andromeda, the BioWare crew was pretty sensitive to BioWare not being their own self. Like, and what I mean by that, when I say sensitive, I don't necessarily mean that they're snowflakes. That's not what I'm meaning. I'm meaning like Bethesda fans are desensitized to Bethesda games launching a buggy mess, right? So.
But even Bethesda fans were even trashing
the only way Bethesda games
exactly. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
And let's be real. Bethesda soft works because Doom didn't launch broken. Doom launched incredible.
Oh no.
All of the other games that are published by Bethesda-owned studios, with the exception of, like, I think Dishonored 2, launch incredibly.
Yeah, it's Bethesda Softworks.
There's studios that can get a launch right.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, Obsidian
can't do it.
Obsidian's launch for New Vegas was kind of rocky because Bethesda rushed.
They didn't have the time to make it.
Yeah,
they gave them like 6 months.
Well, and that's the other problem, that to bring things back to Anthem, how much of that is the problem with Anthem and games that BioWare is releasing now is you've got the fucking EA factor in there.
I can't.
I think Frostbite might be part of the issue too, because Frostbite isn't designed to do what they're trying to make it to do.
Well, here's the thing: it's like, we remember the expose on the working conditions of BioWare, and that worked when they had a template to work off of. When they were going the next Dragon Age, the next, it didn't work great, but it was mostly effective for an existing template. So they had an IP they were working off of on sequels. That was somewhat functional for that. When they tried to create a new IP that was to replace an existing one, but still be different and somewhat original, that's where they just they couldn't pull that in the time crunch.
Oh, which game are you talking about that's supposed to replace?
I'm talking about going from Mass Effect to Anthem. Because
the only IP I can think of that might do
almost the exact same time there was the announcement of Mass Effect being discontinued.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that with
you can't. I didn't ask for help.
there is definitely a correlation to the EA effect. There's no denying that, because if you look at the way in which their games were made prior to 2010, like the actual acquisition of BioWare by or acquisition of the holding company that owned BioWare by EA was in 2007, but the takeover officially didn't happen until like around 2009, 2010, right? Mm-hmm. And you can see,
I think it was after like the original Dragon Age came out, or right.
Dragon Age Origins was the tail end of development was whenever you start, like that was the tail end of or the beginning of EA's influence. And you can see, you remember I joke about the Bethesda effect, right? Where you can see the difference, the casualization of like the broader audience going from Morrowind to Oblivion to Skyrim, where it goes from kind of super niche RPG, like texts and books, and you have to have a lot, it kind of feels nerdy, right? It's that old school 1980s nerd.
Very CRPG, yes.
Yeah, it's very CRPG-like. And then Oblivion, less CRPG, a little bit more actiony, right? And then you go to Skyrim, and it's very actiony, almost very little RPG in that sense. So it's kind of they've gone to a broad audience. Well, in a similar way, you can track the changes or see the influence of EA steadily increase over the years when you look at Mass Effect 1. Now, before Mass Effect 1, not really, all of that was all pure BioWare, right? Mass Effect 1 was actually released the year that BioWare was acquired. So that's the hard line, right? After that, you look at Dragon Age Origins had the DLC trader, right? That was kind of you could tell that was a tacked on afterthought. But that was EA kind of getting their foot in the door. Then you had Mass Effect 2, which had the code that you had to put in to try to prevent people from reselling the game. Then it had honestly, for that day and age, a ton of fucking DLC. Like, you had 2 characters, had all these weapon packs, all these missions that were all DLC shit in that game.
Even look deeper than that. The core gameplay changed so significantly from Mass Effect 1, even the shooting mechanics. You say the shooting mechanics are bad, whatever you want.
Don't say a word.
Played like a RPG with guns. That's as opposed to Mass Effect 2 and 3 feel like a third-person action. It feels like a straight third-person action game, all of Uncharted.
Yeah. So I don't know why Jade says that not to say a word, but a word.
Don't say the A word.
Don't
as
say
in Andromeda.
Andromeda. Yeah. Andromeda.
Andromeda. Anthem, asshole.
In fairness, I've gone back and played Andromeda. I don't think it's as bad as I felt
Learn
with
to read,
the first time. What?
Learn to read, Morty.
Jade, learn to read.
Yeah. So in any case, I'm literally looking corner of my eye. So
I actually don't think it's nearly as bad as everybody says it is now. It's because they said, oh, it's buggy, it's a bad game. And they weren't critical of the game itself. Everybody was caught up on the technical issues and on the animations.
I mean,
writing is horrendous.
I mean, let's take a step back here.
I might have wrote more grindy than Warframe.
Well, no. So here's the thing. I might have.
Yeah, I'm talking about single player.
No. So I might have written this big huge blog and made this video where I went over the points of this blog where I literally in the first 30 seconds of said written thing in video, I said everybody talks about the bugs and that's not even like 1% of the issues with that game. And then I went on in depth to break down every fucking other problem that wasn't bug related. Yeah, honestly, I went back and in detail studied that game to look at after I was kind of getting over my cognitive dissonance. Because at first I was like, no, it's not that bad, guys. Oh, my brain's hurting from the cognitive dissonance. It's not that bad. And then once I finally was like, no, this shit is not good. I mean, it's okay. It's purely okay.
Yeah, and that's just it. I think it's a okay game. It's, if anything, a bad Mass Effect game. Yes. I know my camera's tripping. Still kind of tripping. I'm gonna fix it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
should happen.
So in any case, though, my thing on here is that Andromeda had a boatload of problems, but my point is that you could track that change going from Mass Effect 1 to Dragon Age Origins to Mass Effect 2 to Dragon Age 2.
I wouldn't even say Dragon Age Origins. I would say you see the change in Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2.
Well, no, like I said, Dragon Age Origins had
are drastically different from Origins, the same way Mass Effect 2 and 3 feel very much so different from.
It's not necessarily the games themselves, although yes, you're correct in the. Well, I mean, you even look at Origins to Dragon Age 2. There was a shift going from being a more traditional CRPG to being more action oriented in that series as well. My point is more of where I look at the influence most particularly is with the monetization. That's where I see the most EA influence.
I'm looking at the core game.
Yeah,
like the gameplay mechanics.
When you see the DLC trader in Origins, right, was clearly an afterthought, but that was EA getting more monetization out of Dragon Age Origins. And then when you see the other stuff like their games later, I don't think Dragon Age 2 had nearly as many DLCs as Origins, but that's because that game was tossed out. They were just get this the fuck out and we don't care about it.
They were trying to capitalize on the popularity of the original.
Well, and the thing is, no, they were intending to make it essentially Inquisition, from what I understand. But the thing is they got rushed because they were like, no, we need to switch to Mass Effect 3 now, and they essentially tossed out 2 half-assed, and
stopgap.
Yep,
and it's funny too because I love Dragon Age 2. Like everybody says how it's a bad game.
No, it's actually pretty decent. All in all,
Dragon Age 2 might be my favorite one.
Yeah, but in any case, that the main thing is that nowadays, like, people are like, oh, like, for example, from this expose article that we're looking at right here, there is in the rumors that Jason Schreier got from Anthem being overhauled, there's also rumors that coming out that, oh, they're working on the next Mass Effect game. Well, of course they are, because that's the way you have a development progress, right? Anthem was released. Now they're slowly ratcheting up development on Dragon Age 4, and then once they reach a certain point in the development of Dragon Age 4, then they'll start pre-planning for Mass Effect. That's just a cycle. Of course they're working on fucking Mass Effect. That takes no brain power to think of.
Right.
My thing is that people are going to say, oh, like Dragon Age 4? Pros, you guys gotta set your expectations here. It's probably going to be a third-person open-world action-adventure game with stealth elements and also live service elements. Be prepared. Probably loot boxes, depending on how EA's feeling. If they're trying to be,
I think they're going to go the GTA Online route.
You think so with the shark cards?
Online route.
Yeah.
You're going to get a small 10-hour campaign and all the other content that you want. They're going to lock it into the online multiplayer. They're going to lock it behind microtransactions. I don't see a lot of loot boxes. But yeah, I think you're going to come in and you're going to buy in-game currency.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they might try to move away from loot boxes just because of all the governmental and everybody's breathing down their neck about it. I suspect that they'll have cosmetic purchasable items, kind of like a la Anthem. You know, like essentially you buy in-game currency to get cosmetics, because that seems to be the safe thing. And everybody's moving.
Red Dead Online. I was playing Red Dead Online earlier, and it does a lot of that too.
Yep, and that seems to be the, what is it called? The battle packs. I think also tends to be another popular monetization model. That's what Fortnite does, and that's what
battle packs might come popular too, because what the battle pack does is kind of like what we saw with that Star Wars MMO. Yeah, you can get everything through regular play and through regular in-game currency.
Yep.
But if you want to like progress at the normal rate, you buy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. But here's the thing: is that I think people should set their expectations that Dragon Age 4 and Mass Effect, whatever the next Mass Effect is called, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get pretty much the standard, like, open world, third person action adventure with stealth elements games. Guys, got to set your expectations to that now. It's going to have live service elements. It's unless for some reason EA sees what Jedi Fallen Order is doing right now, which is a single player game, and Respawn, I think that's their golden child right now. Like Respawn, let's all just congratulate Respawn for saving EA from going bankrupt.
I don't want to applaud them for that.
Yeah, right.
I don't think live service games are bad. Number one, I think it's all about how you do it. You can make a good, like, think about like any MMO, any online game is a live service game.
Yes, live service games were popularized with WoW. That was the original live service.
Path of Exile, a great live service game.
Yeah.
Nobody complains about it. Warframe is a live service game. Nobody complains about it.
Nope. That's because
it's all about how you do it. People are loving free to play.
Was that Rose?
Those are live service games that have done it well. They aren't huge
that's my point.
Cash grabs.
That's the point I'm making. And I would say Path of Exile, their microtransactions are expensive as hell. Like you'll pay like $30-$40 to get a suit, a cosmetic suit with no actual attributes.
Let's be honest.
Like,
some of the shit in Warframe is pretty damn pricey too. But here's the thing: is that with those games, there's also another factor in there. When did they launch?
Path of Exile has been out for what, 2 years?
3 years. So it launched in 2016. Warframe launched in 2013.
2012.
2013.
It was 2013 is the main release. 2012 was.
Yeah, I was saying like right around there.
So here's the thing: is
They
that
caught on early.
the thing is that as games like those slowly more and more people releasing them. When Warframe released, you had Warframe and Destiny. Now you have Warframe, Destiny, Division, Destiny 2, Anthem. You're getting more and more games that are going to come out like that because, well, let's be honest, a lot of the market sees something popular and they all dogpile it until nobody nobody likes that thing anymore. It's happened to MMOs, right?
I have a very unpopular opinion about when you say it was just Warframe and Destiny, and that is that they're all Diablo clones.
In a manner of speaking,
all of these
yes.
games are just Diablo clones.
Well, no, the thing is that you're not wrong. They're looters, which Diablo's the corner of that market. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Diablo. If you even said they copied Borderlands, I say okay.
Well, here's the thing: is when you take most genres, you do have an original. There's a reason why there's an entire genre that is named after a game, roguelikes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's Souls-like.
I'm just saying that Warframe is Diablo with guns.
Well, no, the thing is that you're not wrong, but there's an important word that we add to the front of looter that distinctifies that genre. Looter shooter. Sorry, not in front, behind, whatever. I'm backwards. Right. But no, we call those looter shooters because
I was trying to give props to Diablo because Diablo.
There's looter space sims too. Zigfrack is a looter, but it's a space sim.
Yeah. You've got Borderlands. Was the difference between Borderlands and the Warframe Destiny trend? Borderlands was a single player. Well, no, sorry, co-op. But it's a self-contained game, right? Whereas Warframe Destiny are the MMO live service looter shooters. Right,
they have the Warcraft aspects of it.
Yeah,
if you were the World of Warcraft aspect, I get it.
Yeah. But yeah,
Diablo is the king. Diablo is daddy. Praise Diablo.
So I guess the final thing on here is that, say, 1 year from today, Anthem has fixed its shit up. It is now a rival of Destiny 2 at its peak. It's a rival of Warframe as far as content, as far as the gameplay loop, fun. Would you guys buy it in a year?
I already have it.
And if so, how much would you pay for it?
Wait, what?
$20.
$20.
Anthem is realistically worth $20.
Right now, $10. If it is a complete overhaul that I find good, then 20. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing: 10, still 10. You know why? Because of microtransactions, they can make that money later. 10. That's the most I'd pay for a game that should be honestly free to play. Warframe has made a hugely successful business model as a free to play game. Why the fuck can't any of these other people do it that are copying their business model?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just theirs. Other people have used that business model before them, but
Destiny 2 is free to play too now. By the way,
I think the argument to be made against free to play though.
Off of this.
Yeah,
I think there's an argument to be made. I agree with you about the microtransactions. I'm one of those people. I would rather just buy the game and not deal with microtransactions.
If they don't have it, then I'd be willing to pay more than 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at
my big thing with Anthem: optimize it. Give us like real progression. Give us like actual guns that aren't just more than a stat increase, but that are actually.
You want to sell a full price game? Give me a complete game without the microtransactions or loot boxes or anything. I don't care if it's cosmetic or anything. You want a full price game? You want to sell it for that? No microtransactions. No paid. Paid DLC only. Not as filling up gaps, but actual continuation. Addendums to the original project.
Witcher 3.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Witcher 3.
I get what you're saying.
Model or Witcher 3 model. That's what I see.
I get what you're saying, and I kind of agree with that, with the exception of when we think about the live service model. If it's a game that's going to be supported for years and years and years and get this additional content,
they want it to be that.
How do you monetize that? How do you keep the money flowing in from after you pay that $60 purchase?
So here's the thing, and I'll get to Rose in a minute because I know she's trying to say something. Is that what Xaiphen I think is saying is that if you want to charge $60 for a game, it should be like I wouldn't go with a live service model for that game. $60 game should be like a self-contained thing. You want to add DLC to it, charge for that DLC as additions to the base game rather than a part of the base game. If you want a live service game, free-to-play microtransactions like Warframe or Destiny 2. Go ahead, Rose.
I'm saying
I
that I
was
don't have a
going to
problem
say-
with.
Well, let's let Rose talk too.
I know you haven't been on the podcast, Kev.
I was just directly responding to what Mort said.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We're all good.
So here's the thing. If you've got microtransactions, should be free. Fuck paying anything up front. If you want to support your game with microtransactions, make it free. If you don't want microtransactions, then charge $60. Anthem is not worth a dime to me. I will not pay for it.
Yeah.
It's free or nothing.
I think
because it's got the microtransactions.
I think it's going to be tough for EA to justify charging $60 or $30 or any dollars when you have two direct competitors, Destiny 2 and Warframe, are both now free to play. So
That's
now
where I see Breakpoint having some trouble taking off as well.
Well, Breakpoint, that was DOA. It flopped. Like
What?
that.
Did it actually?
Who's talking about Breakpoint?
I don't
It's
even know
another
what
one. It's
Breakpoint is.
another one of those.
Did that game was released,
live
right?
service looters.
No, nobody's
I think
talking
so.
about
I
it.
don't know. Oh, well, I
mean,
thought I had a little bit of interest. I played the beta on it. Like,
Oh, we all did.
This almost seemed good. Almost.
When we talk about having competitors in the market, I can't help but think of, we're talking about Warframe, we're talking about Destiny 2 and other free-to-play. I'm thinking about Borderlands 2, a game that is heavily loved, played for years. Okay, I thought the Discord froze for a second. Everybody's sitting so still.
Yeah.
And they supported it with actual DLC and actually added content. Sometimes it was just level increases too. I get that. I think this can work. Hell, I think something like a World of Warcraft model would work, except for, or I guess ESO would be better. Sell the expansion, sell the additional content, no monthly charge. I think that is some kind of live service could work.
Yeah. By the way,
On a
Ghost Recon
$60 game.
Breakpoint, Metascore 57 for Metacritic from the critics. User score 2.2. Fucking hell. It got wrecked. It released September 5th, by the way. You notice that nobody's fucking talking about that game because...
Nobody talks about bad games. Hell, people only talk about good games for a week.
Jeez, that 57 and a 2.2 user score. Oh, that hurts. Oh. In any case...
I think that might be lower than 76.
Yeah, I think it is.
76 needs to overhaul too, because the core 76 is pretty good.
Well, they have
It's
an overhaul.
just-
They have all the overhaul there for 76, Kev. It's called Fallout First.
No, that was not the fix we wanted.
That's the fix that Todd Howard wants to give you, Kev. You will pay him to not fix his game.
No, I won't. No, now, actually, to Xaiphen's point too, I think Fallout 76 free to play is an excellent idea.
Yeah, I agree.
If they can fix the base problem,
That includes a
Fallout
free
76
canvas bag.
as a free to play MMO. Market it as an MMO because it is an MMO.
Yes.
Market it as a Fallout MMO, free to play. You will do fine.
I can agree with that. I think that all of these games, these live service games, that they want continued long-term support. They want to do microtransactions. Cool. Let's be fucking honest with ourselves here. The $60 price tag up front, that is actually probably, like in the long term, when you look at these games like Warframe, if they charge $60 up front for the sale of that game, which they didn't, they never did, but right now if they started charging $60, that would be like 1% of their revenue from the game, right?
Yeah.
And so them dropping that, the only reason they charge that $60 up front has nothing to do with the actual revenue they're making. It has everything to do with brand value, which is an investor thing. Fanboys will talk about brand value, and you know what? They're fucking morons because it means nothing to us as consumers. It's everything with investors. If they feel like if you start charging $30, for example, for a Mass Effect game, then all of a sudden investors are going to start saying, "Oh, is the brand value diminishing?" They're going to start pulling out their investments from EA. They have to charge that, quote unquote,
you have to charge $60 because, like you said, investors and people start thinking like, well, why is this? You look at a game like, or they start thinking maybe it's a small title. Like I look at Total War and Troy. They're cheaper because they're smaller games. Yep. That's what people think of. Smaller games, smaller price tag.
Yep.
I just think that if you're going to have a live service game, I think it is possible for $60, but you have to do it right. The problem is they're trying to charge you. They're trying to make a free-to-play game and charge you $60 for it.
Yep.
You can't do both.
Yep.
You have to pay. You can't go NBA 2K on us.
Yep.
Well, I guess you can because 2K clearly does not give a shit.
They can do it. It's just a matter of how far they're going to be able to run with it. How far
and they haven't changed the goddamn thing.
Yeah. So I now while we're talking about 2K, let's lose. This is a nice smooth transition point. While we're talking about 2K, so how about that? And I know Jade will appreciate this one. How about that Red Dead Redemption 2? So here's funny story on here.
It still hurts.
Yeah, some people like Kev.
I paid for it. Couldn't play for a week.
Kev pre-ordered this game. Can we all take a moment to acknowledge that Kev pre-ordered RDR2?
Let's do better. I pre-ordered it and I have it on Epic.
Oh God, Kev, no!
I didn't give Tim Sweeney my money. I gave it to Humble Bundle.
Oh.
Everybody,
but when I bought it on Humble Bundle, I wasn't paying attention to the platform.
Yeah. What was that, Rose?
When I bought it on Humble, I wasn't paying attention to the platform, and I realized afterward, wait, this is for Epic. I thought it was a Rockstar key. Not even I didn't even occur to me that it was on Epic. I did the same thing with the Outer Worlds too.
Yeah,
it was in the same transaction.
What was that, Rose?
Everybody, we regret to announce that Kev was hit by a car today and is in critical condition. He will no longer.
I'm just gonna embrace my L.
Yeah,
I embrace my L's. I'm not damage control. I'm not ducking my L's.
Just keep piling up.
I'm saying, give me my L's. I will love them. I will hug them. I'll let me make love to these L's. I will make sweet love to these F from South Park. I'll do it like Pop from Friday. Rest in peace.
Car, he was sideswiped by an epic-sized truck and then got crushed by the loot boxes that fell off of it.
Was it Tim Sweeney's loot box?
God damn.
It was an epic truck.
Oh. Yeah, no. So here's the funny thing is that
the truck was exclusive too.
I don't know what's going on. So
they had 6 months of exclusivity.
I was
bring it and get hit.
So to bring it back in here, to reel it back in to the actual issue on here. So the comedy of this is that a lot of people were like you, Kev, that had issues at launch where the game was crashing frequently, but then they applied some fixes and it seems like a lot of stuff is fixed. Comedically, players like Jade didn't have any problems at launch, but then once they started patching it was whenever the problems started appearing. And so it's like...
Yeah, I haven't had a single crash since the final patch a couple days ago.
Yeah, so...
My only issue now is the mouse cursor is stuck on the screen unless I turn on the mouse fade in the control panel. But then I don't have a mouse in game. So I have to navigate the menu and with the arrow key. This shit. Fine.
I guess a lot of what my position on this is obviously yes, don't pre-order a game. I know that
the game's incredible. The game is so good.
Yeah,
the game that it's locked behind all this bullshit.
And the thing is,
actually a really good game.
When you have a game like RDR2, to be fair, there is that game has been out on PS4 for a while, so we had time for that version of the game to get released, be reviewed. Oh, sorry, it's also on Xbox. I forget that console exists.
Yeah.
Praise Xbox.
But in any case, everybody knows what that game is like, right? They know that it's a pretty damn good quality game on PS4, so it would stand to reason that it's only going to get better when it's released on PC. I can understand that justification. That makes sense to me. However, there's not really any reason to get it immediately. I know you really want to play the game, but maybe giving it just a little time to be released and these initial bumps to get fixed. Well, my other thing too is that the game is only exclusive for 1 month. So waiting until December to buy it on Steam, or I don't know if it's going to be on GOG. I don't think it's going to be on GOG because Take-Two doesn't do the whole.
Probably not.
Right now you can get it through Epic, or you can get it directly through Rockstar. When I bought it on Humble, I thought I was getting it directly from Rockstar. I wasn't paying attention because I had forgot that it was on Epic. Because they have the Rockstar launcher just everywhere. Like when you buy a Ubisoft game, you're not getting an Epic key. You always get a Uplay key. You never got a Steam key. You just got a Uplay key. And I was thinking of it like that. So like, yeah, it should be the Epic launcher. And even with the Outer Worlds, which I also have on Epic because I did in the same transaction, I was like, I thought it would be, Microsoft owns them. It's going to be Windows 10. I don't have a problem using the Xbox app. I don't care. The Xbox Game Pass still is fine for me. I don't care.
Yeah. No,
and I loaded the game. I'm like, I loaded up. I'm like, fuck, these are both Epic keys.
No, I've been playing Outer Worlds.
Embrace these L's, bro.
I've been playing Outer Worlds on Game Pass, since launch, and I have no problems. Hell, I got Game Pass until March of next year for $1 total.
Yeah, I don't have that. But I started cycling through a bunch of games that are not in my library. I played some Gears, I played some Forza, I played some Outer Worlds. I had played a lot of Recore and surprising amount of Rage too. No, Recore is good for a jumping puzzle game. I like that. It's been a while since I played one of those.
Mega Man, but it's completely a Mega Man vibe.
Yeah. Well, it's a jumping puzzle, like old Mario, Mega Man, other things like that. It's 3D jumping puzzle. But yeah, I had some fun with that, but I'm really rusty on jumping puzzles. I used to be pretty badass at them, but not so much anymore. Rage 2 is pretty fun, though, I think. Rage 2, to me, feels a little bit like...
Technicolor Borderlands.
Well, Borderlands Crisis.
Technicolor Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands meets Crisis, honestly.
Didn't I can't remember what Yahtzee called Rage 2. It was anyway.
I foresee a lot of downsides to that game, and I'm not going to play it full length because that one is available on Steam, but I'm not ready to drop $60 on a game like that.
Yeah, no, I can understand. No, I think that Kev is going to have some good fun. He finally today got himself Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So that's gonna be. It's kind of like.
Did he buy another Epic game?
No.
Oh.
What are you talking about? Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is not
I thought
Epic
that one was
exclusive.
going to be an Epic exclusive.
No, I have it on my GOG wish list along with Cyberpunk 2077
yeah.
and.
I get that confused with
Baldur's Gate
something
3
else. There was so many Epic exclusives. I started making assumptions on. Oh, new game's launching. Must be an Epic exclusive.
I can understand that, but nope, that one I actually was confused on that one as well. But I think there was some rumors that it was going to be exclusive, but it turned out it wasn't. The thing I kind of point out with Rockstar in general is this isn't the first time there's been problems with Rockstar from my memory. Wasn't there issues with GTA 5's launch as well?
Yes, there was.
So that to me seems like if people are going to assume that they should give a certain game launch time to bake before buying it, I would think that that would be a good one. I'm genuinely curious how it's going to be on. Hold on, try to say this without laughing. I'm genuinely curious how Red Dead Redemption 2 will be when it launches for Stadia. Sorry.
What Stadia?
Nobody's going to play on Stadia, let's be honest.
Does that still exist?
Google employees aren't going to play it on Stadia.
I think Stadia is going to be, just saying that, just putting it out, I think Stadia is going to be dead on arrival.
Stadia is going to be trash. As I walked away, I had the headphones.
There's some Google projects
did
are
GTA 5 have at
successful.
launch?
There's some that die quickly, and then some just take years to die. We'll see which one this is.
Yeah, my thing on here is that I don't fault Stadia. Like, I know that Stadia is good. I've been saying it for a while. I think that Stadia was too soon because the infrastructure isn't behind it. Like 5G isn't out. And we've said this on the podcast months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think there is an argument for that technology, and I don't care what fanboys want to cover their ears and about it. That is the future. It is the future of consoles. I'm sorry, you're going to have to accept this, but
I think they're going to try to force that shit on PC too. Yeah,
well, I mean, I think PC will be the slower one to move, because
I think in 10 years we're going to be playing on thin clients with APU, and we're probably going to be streaming from the cloud too in that 10, 15 years.
I think it'll be a little bit longer for PC, just because I think PC will be harder to uproot because of its other uses. However, I think that, eventually we're all going to get to a point where we don't have fucking computers at all. Like, we're talking 30 years down the line, you just have like a fucking projector that, projects onto your wall or some shit, or whatever.
We're kind of close there, because average Joe doesn't need more than this. Hell, they don't need more than this.
Yeah.
To do anything that they would do on a computer. Most people.
Yeah.
The only people holding on to PCs now are PC gamers or people who are doing like professional work or boomers.
And it's not even all professional work, right? It is usually specifically stuff relating to office productivity tools, because and even that's starting to go away because G Suite is starting to catch up with Microsoft Office, but Microsoft Office still operates better on Windows PCs. Shocking, right? Few administrative folks that are really deep and especially into Outlook are still going to hold on to their Windows PCs.
I think to a point, but you see companies, they're looking for always looking for cheaper alternatives. I think Office 365 with the Office Online products will catch on.
Oh no, so this is in my literal wheelhouse of stuff. I have a weekly meeting with Microsoft reps discussing changes coming into the pipeline with Office 365. The Outlook Online, for example, has been steadily coming up to feature parity with the thick client, the actual Outlook program that people use. Once that reaches feature parity, in other words, they both do the exact same thing, there's no the actual thick client of Outlook is a resource hog. It's inefficient, it's old, outdated, and Microsoft, frankly, wants it to go away. And I can't blame them. I can't blame them at all.
If they could force everyone on the OWA, they would. I'm surprised they haven't. If they could get OWA even feature parity, they would.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. OWA, it's Outlook Online. They're the same thing. I say Outlook Online because they're Excel Online, Word Online.
Right. Okay, I was thinking that there was actually like an Outlook Online beyond Hotmail, basically, which is basically.
Although they're very similar platforms. Background, I won't get into the details of that. But the point is that Microsoft too, just like Google, is moving their productivity suite to the cloud. Everybody's moving their stuff to the cloud. That's the reason
you
why.
have all that redundancy, and there's a lot less work to deal with.
Yeah,
you don't have to deal with maintenance on actual, on computers. You say, hey, bring your own phone, bring your own tablet.
Yep.
That's immensely cheaper. Yep. And you do your work here, you can take it with you. Now I can hit you up at 2 a.m. and hey, I need this done now. That's what businesses are getting.
Here's the other thing. You can manage the digital rights a lot easier in the cloud than you can on someone's PC.
Right, because you don't have any rights on the cloud.
Right. We get to a point where cloud gaming is the thing. Guess what? Piracy is going to be gone. It is going to disappear because there is going to be nothing to pirate.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is when you go to video streaming,
you'll get to the point where people are hacking accounts.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't want to pay, they're going to find a way not to pay.
Or you're going to get account sharing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is already a problem with Netflix and Hulu and all these other.
You say Twitter problem.
The other day, they said, "Hey, problem for the companies, not problems for us."
Problem for the investors.
Twitter, hey, who wants all of my Disney Plus account. I need a Hulu.
By the way, quick shout out to The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is actually good fucking show. Just saying.
Isn't that the Star Wars thing? I haven't actually paid it any attention.
Yeah, it's the first Disney Plus exclusive.
Success, and they've had some limited success with their prequels type scenarios.
Well, like Rogue One. Rogue One was the best fucking awesome, Star Wars movie.
Solo was pitiful.
Yeah. No, but Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie that's been released in the last 15 years. I'm just going to say it.
Okay, I haven't seen Rogue One yet, and I'm saying this to somebody who prefers the prequel.
Listen, it's on Netflix. You got a Netflix account. I'm pretty certain you can still see Rogue One on there for a little while.
I'm about to say I don't think it's still on there.
Go fucking watch that. They might be pulling it off soon, or might have already pulled it off, but it was on there.
Yeah, I think it's already been pulled.
Shit. You can get a 7-day free trial for Disney Plus.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it outright. Like I was already.
Yeah, no, Rogue One is legit.
Yeah, it's gone. You have The Last Jedi and Solo are the only one.
Yeah, so they pulled it off.
And that's the word Star Wars, and then you got a bunch of Star Trek.
Yeah. The Star Wars movies that they licensed from Disney, they had a 2-year license range on those, which I think is due up by 2020 on all of them.
Right. And I think I told you guys, I'm trying to get caught up on the. Damn, they're already on season 4 for She-Ra. God damn, they just released that shit this year.
Which one?
No.
She-Ra. I watched season 1 of the reboot for She-Ra, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't as good as the 80s show, but it was okay. I thought they did a decent job on it. But I'm like, but that shit season 1 released like April.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, just release season 4.
They must be doing like really short, like 4-episode seasons or something.
No, they were short. They were like, I think when I watched season 1, I watched it all in like over 2 days. It's like 10 episodes. It's like 10 episodes, 30 minutes each.
That's weird. But no, in any case though, with the case of like I have a little bit of leeriness with Disney in general because I think they have too much. They're too powerful.
Too much power.
And so that makes me worried. But thus far, so is
Microsoft, so is Google.
Yeah. And Amazon. No one talks about Amazon, but let's be honest, they're But no, so in any case, with like Rogue One, the thing is that Rogue One was a movie the movie itself was expendable, and I think that there's a certain argument when you have no concerns of carrying on a background story or keeping these characters like doing other stuff or developing them a huge amount over multiple movies. I think that kind of gave the people making that movie a ton of freedom to kind of like just do what they want.
There had to have been something going well further because you got a movie where you know how it's going to end, yet they make it so you want to keep watching it. By the way. And you still have the emotional reaction that you were thought that you would be immune to by knowing how it's going to end.
Yeah, just don't hit anything at the ending because
is it really spoiling to know that Rogue One is the prequel to A New Hope? So you know how it ends because it goes right. No.
The thing is,
but I know it goes right into A New Hope.
Yes, it does. But like knowing that doesn't put to words. Oh my god, that ending is like I fell in love with Darth Vader again.
Well, I'm already going to do Disney Plus. I've already decided I'm going to do. I just haven't subscribed yet. Yeah. I'm actually think about it. I'm adding it with my Hulu because I love Hulu.
Yeah,
I'll take Hulu over Netflix.
No,
people tell me I'm honestly, crazy for that. I prefer Hulu.
I spend a lot more time on Hulu than I do on anything else, but that's
and I don't watch a lot of TV, so that's the thing too.
Jade's like, need my Disney Plus account. She's like, but no,
I was just going to do the bundle.
Yeah, what's the? I have to check out what the bundle is on that. Bucky over on Mixer. What's up, man?
I'm actually in my Hulu account right now. My phone's in my hand. I'm looking at it right now. So
yeah, I'll have to check on that one. I don't think that I'll be able to do it because I get Hulu included with my Spotify, so that's already
tied in. They won't let you do
in.
it for that. They won't let you combine plans.
Yeah, so that's kind of the issue on there. But let's bring it back around to actual game stuff as Kev is ordering Disney Plus as we're speaking on here.
If I can find it on the app.
Moral of the Red Dead Redemption story: don't pre-order. Remember,
I'm
no
still gonna
pre-orders.
pre-order
Yeah.
Halo Reach.
Remember, guys, no pre-orders.
I'm pre-ordering Halo Reach.
Don't do
I
it.
still need to make that meme for you. Thanks for
No,
reminding
Kev
me.
already did it, man. You slept on it. Kev already
Yeah,
got
I
that
already got it in
handle.
there.
It's the Epic Games meme.
Huh?
I don't know. Maybe I thought he made the meme saying, "Remember, no Epic Games." I can't remember.
No, I said no pre-orders as I pre-ordered.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yep. But in any case, though, moving on to our next story on here. Our next story is talking about the Xbox Scarlet and the kind of strategy that they're kind of going on with that. And this is kind of a little bit interesting on there. Give me a second real quick here. So with Xbox Scarlet, something I thought kind of interesting of their strategy on here is, and a lot of, obviously you heard a lot of kind of shade thrown at them for this, but something that they made it clear is that as they release games for this next generation of Xbox, they want to make sure that a lot of them, at least, I don't know how long this is planning on happening, but this may be just the cusp period that we always see where you get the dual console releases for games. Like where essentially they release the Xbox Scarlet and the Xbox One side-by-side versions. They'll do the same thing with PS4, where you'll have the PS4 and the PS5 versions released side-by-side, right? And something, they went into a lot of detail on where they're, because at XO19, as Kev has joked multiple times, well, that was...
I wanted Gears Tactics info.
Yeah.
I want it. God damn it. Shame.
Not going to happen.
Shame. I want Gears Tactics. And Warcraft 3 Reforged. God damn it.
So I wasn't the only one that heard that.
No, Kev's been garbling up a lot this whole call. He needs to get...
So have you, Mort.
Discord's having some issues because...
Discord's having issues because I've had that same issue with Mort like the whole time we've been, even in pre-show. I thought it was just my
I've had
internet.
issues with both of you guys.
It's Discord. Hey guys, let's move back to Skype.
No.
I had a back and forth on Twitter with somebody about that. They told me I had bad taste because I said I'd much rather take Discord over Skype. Because they're like, well, at least Skype was reliable. I'm like, I have seldom had issues with Discord.
Also,
Apparently Discord goes down all the time.
Can we take a moment to just kind of give a blank stare to Jade that's like, she pre-ordered MCC on Steam? And I'm like...
Yeah! My girl! Pre-order! Yeah! Praise Phil!
You know what? I'll tell people, you can go ahead and pre-order Cyberpunk 2077 on GOG. There you go. You know why? You know why I say that? Because GOG, unlike every other fucking platform, if Cyberpunk 2077 turns out to be garbage, but you don't find out until 2 weeks after playing the game, 20 hours into the game, you realize it's garbage, guess what? You can still fucking return it. Unlike Steam or Epic,
you got 30 days.
I'm going to say right now, everybody
They're not sitting here watching the
to
clock.
pay respect to the demise of Jade.
To the demise of Jade.
Mort just wrecked Jade. You can't wreck the viewers in your stream, Mort.
No.
We got to teach you some streamer etiquette.
No, trust me. Jade spends a lot of her time wrecking her chat too. So it's turnabout.
Well, see, I think the only times I've been in Jade's chat, I was like the only one there. Or
no, but no. In any case, the thing is that if you are going to pre-order, having a very good return policy, I think, is pretty much the only way that I would say that it's okay. Whereas the problem I have with Steam, and I throw this under Steam just the same as I throw Epic under the bus for this, 2 hours and 2 weeks is not a fucking acceptable return policy, and I don't know why people are okay with it. You go to I buy something from a store, right? I buy like a lamp from a store, and after a week, that lamp just like zaps out. Oh, sorry, you used that for more than 2 hours. You can't return it. The fuck you talking about? That would be a lawsuit.
The problem is, and because Steam actually explained this when they made the change. Because remember, at first it was just 2 weeks, and then indie devs started complaining. Oh, I have a 3-hour game, and I have to be part of this return policy. That's when they started. And that's when they changed it.
That is a false flag. No. See, the thing is Steam had the 2-hour thing from the fucking start. They had to put it in there because they got fucking sued because they didn't have a return policy at all.
No, I remember the return policy. I don't remember the 2 hours being there at the jump.
I'm almost certain it was, and they did that. And then when people said 2 hours isn't enough time, then they threw the indie devs as their meat shield in front of them and said, well, what about these indie devs? People could just play it for 2 hours and 3 hours and then return it. And it's like, you really think that there's going to be a drastic enough group of people that are going to deliberately buy an indie dev's 3-hour game, play it, and then return? No. See, the thing is,
I think people are assholes.
No, the thing is that
GOG... people are buying those codes on G2A.
GOG has a 30-day fucking no questions asked. Granted that you maybe double check and make sure that it's working. If you need to troubleshoot it, they might ask you, hey, are you having a technical problem? Why. Yeah, but otherwise, they let you return it no matter how long you played it. Do they have indie devs on GOG saying, oh my god, I never put games on GOG because people return them? No. You know why? Because GOG actually is consumer friendly, and the games that are put on there, GOG says, hey, if you put a shit game on here, we're siding with the consumer. It's not our fault that you made a shit game. And
my bigger problem with, and I have a problem with that too, because these tutorials are like an hour long, sometimes longer.
Yep.
Like I was playing Red Dead, that tutorial is like 2 fucking hours.
Yep.
And it's 2 hours, and then it's like where you get to the real game and maybe get to the real damn problem.
I mean, at least
you don't have enough time to really figure that out. Sometimes you don't even have 2 hours to figure out if you actually like the game. So it takes longer than that.
What is that?
Wait, Kev played an hour-long tutorial.
Oh God, I know where this is going.
But you won't do the 10-minute tutorial on Guns of Icarus.
No, I didn't want to do the tutorial on Guns of Icarus. I wanted to just jump into the game.
Yeah.
You played an hour-long tutorial.
And I didn't want to do... I hate tutorials that tell you this is how you jump. Bitch, I know how to jump.
Here's the thing. I agree with your sentiment on tutorials, just not the reaction.
But my point
I feel tutorials should exist, but beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my sentiment about Guns of Icarus. My point was about with Steam though, is like you need more than 2 hours. At the same time, I get it. Some people will, like I've seen people beat 30-hour games in a weekend. People were telling me The Outer Worlds, they put like 40 hours in it, like 2 days after it came out. They've already done everything. I'm like,
so here's my thing. Here's my thing is that it speaks volume whenever EA has a better return policy than you.
Facts.
Because
EA doesn't get credit for their return policy.
Yeah,
they only had one before Steam, but their return policy is better than Steam's.
Yeah, exactly. It is fucking
much better.
It is fucking embarrassing. The EA, one of the most hated corporations in the universe, has a better, more consumer-friendly return policy than Valve. Epic, I would understand.
Have you ever tried to get a return on your loot box purchases?
Epic
that's a good point. That's a good point. You can't. Good luck if you do in-game purchases. You're up a fucking creek. It's only for the game purchase.
Actually, I was looking at Epic's return policy, and this is one thing that is consumer friendly. They will refund your loot boxes. I was reading their return policy earlier this week. Actually, going through all the Red Dead shit.
Oh, before we go giving them too much, I'm pretty certain that, like Xaiphen, you're talking about the in-game purchase refunds. I'm actually pretty certain that has changed for everybody because I think there was actually a lawsuit that I think Google was involved in. Because I actually got money from Google because their settlement there was essentially the way that their in-game purchases were, they were denying all refunds for them, and there was like essentially kids taking their parents' credit cards on their Google account and just charging up to fucking wazoo for their little crystals in those little base building games and shit like that. So I think everybody changed their return policy.
That's why you get the goddamn credit card. You don't see the goddamn.
Yeah. So I'm pretty certain though that's for everybody has changed their in-game purchases refunds because they're required to now because they can get fucking sued. Once you set a legal precedent that someone can get sued, magically everybody all of a sudden tries to steer clear of that. It's weird. But
it's almost like everybody wants to be consumer friendly.
Yeah. No, the thing is though, Steam's refund policy, it only exists because they got sued. They would not have a refund policy if they hadn't got sued. And I think people give Valve a little too much credit. Valve, I see them as being neutral. They take no action for anybody, publishers, developers, or consumers, unless they're forced to. And I think that's something.
I've said that. I've said it several times. Valve is neutral. You've got GOG on the pro consumer, everybody else on the other side, and then Valve is. They're just sitting in the middle.
Yeah, they just deliberately take no action unless they are kind of forced to.
It has its goods and bads. Neither. It's neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they'll fight tooth and nail to avoid that change too. Look at all the European Union court rulings against them right now.
Yes.
You've got you must allow gamers to resell your games. You've got the one that's kind of, I understand Steam fighting, but the region locking. Yeah, there's just a whole lot.
Yep. Yeah. Now, bringing it back onto topic on here with
topic. What's that?
Yeah,
right.
This is our off.
There's a reason we're talking about everything besides L-Box.
Yeah. Well, my thing though is I'm trying to maybe talk about news. I noticed the thing is though is that you noticed that they did spend a lot less time talking about Project Scarlet and a lot more time talking about xCloud. And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up on here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was deliberate?
Because I think xCloud will actually be decent. I think Stadia is DOA. Stadia has no games.
So I've been
I
playing.
joke about Xbox has no games. No, Stadia legitimately has no games.
So
they have no games. You're not getting your shit day one. Like people are like they bought it like pre-ordered at release, and they're not getting their shit for like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, well, they did. The thing is that so
there's so many broken promises there.
So here's someone made a good point. While Google does have a rather significant cloud infrastructure, mostly centered around cloud storage and basic cloud computing, they don't have the cloud graphical processing that both Amazon and Microsoft tout. So I think that there is going to be issues with having a fully loaded infrastructure. Like you get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 players all trying to play games at the same time on Stadia. I don't think it's going to be able to handle that. I don't think they have the graphical horsepower. Like, and that's not even talking about the internet infrastructure, which Google doesn't have control over. That's other people. But I'm talking about just if you have the perfect internet connection to Stadia, for all their users have the perfect internet connection, and that's not even a concern. The concern then becomes that they just I don't know if they have quite enough to keep up at scale, which is why I think they've been staggering out their deployment of it so much. Mm-hmm. And I've been in the xCloud beta. So I was a beta tester for Project Stream, which was the precursor to Stadia. And
so you're breaking up more. I don't know if it's just me or if you.
It's probably just you. With that AMD processor.
You were breaking up for us too, or at least me. I think Xaiphen.
Yeah.
As well.
To repeat, I beta tested.
You've all been breaking up the whole time.
I mean, even Morse's response was hella delayed. Like it was delayed by like 10 seconds.
It has a catch up. Discord shit itself. I tried to switch over to the server and it opened up a web browser.
I kind of
from the app.
I kind of suspect that there may be some Discord issues.
Yeah,
I can't even scroll in here either. So yeah, there's some issues going on.
We're gonna have a talk about Discord's future on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel like it might not be a sustainable solution long term. That being said,
I honestly agree, but yeah.
I don't want to agree, but I'm kind of there too. I don't want to go back to Skype. Okay, Skype was out of my life for so long, and it was so great.
We'll talk. There's also Zoom and some other options. So, any case,
Don't even.
Zoom. People hate on Zoom, man, but Zoom is actually probably one of the best video conferencing solutions on the market. It is what it is. I'm gonna call a duck like I call a duck. I have to study all this shit all day for my job. I have to take some hard swallows and swallow my biases on a lot of products. I wanted Teams to be fucking good, but I'm gonna be fucking honest.
I think I heard this totally wrong. That Mort takes hard swallows every day at work, and then I got like dead hair.
No, that was Discord glitching out. You didn't hear that, Kev.
That's what I heard.
Yup. So in any case, though, in regards to the cloud gaming, I think xCloud will probably be at least a passable solution. The problem I have is that, again, the internet infrastructure I don't think is quite up for it. But I would love for it to be a Steam in-home streaming competitor. I would be down for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sound like a boomer when I say this. I don't care. I really don't want to go to a streaming future. I like having my hardware. I like having control. I understand that it's going to go there because people will always side with convenience. I'm just not looking forward to it.
I'll go ahead and let it out for you, Kev. Too fucking bad.
Bad. Right. And that's the sad reality of it. We're going to get to a point where PCs are basically consoles.
Well, no, what you're going to get to is that PCs and consoles don't even exist.
Yeah. I'll give you that too.
Yeah, you're going to have your phone. You know what? This would be fucking... I kind of... I get where Kev is coming from with the not wanting to deal with... or wanting to have your hardware. I totally get that. And the physical copies if you want it. Totally understand. But imagine for a moment the Switch technology ported to your phone. So essentially, you can game on your phone, right? Wherever you happen to be, etc., etc. And then you plug it into a dock. Boom, it's on your TV in your bedroom or your living room.
Mm-hmm.
What you're going to have, you're not even going to need a dock. You're going to have the Iron Man Jarvis setup.
Right. You just flick it over to your...
I have it here. I want it on a big screen right there. And it's not like all of the devices that you have are just, image converters. That's it.
Yeah.
They're two-way signaling, and all your processing is done remotely.
Yeah, and to be frankly honest, that is, it's interesting to me as far as technology and what it will do, but also I definitely understand people lamenting no longer having physical control of their licensed software. Yes, I'm saying licensed software because I hear the argument of, oh, I don't own my software anymore. Bitch, you never fucking owned it to begin with. You were licensed
my
to use
issue
it.
is not even that. My issue is like from when I got into PC projecting. Prior to that, I did car projects. I like the project devices, and if it's all in cloud, there is no more project involved in that. It's just have a terminal, and then that's it. There's nothing to build. There's nothing to grow. There's nothing to adapt, update, or anything else like that. There's no fun with the hardware or the localized software.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of people would not consider some of the crap that I deal with fun, but to a certain extent I do, and there are some like-minded people.
Yep.
See, I think what's going to happen is we're going to keep having a streaming future. As much as I don't like the idea myself, but I think we're also going to have a subset of people who are enthusiasts and will still build a PC themselves just to have.
I mean, there's still people that have
powerful.
there's still people that have record players, right? Like vinyl is still a market, despite the fact that and tapes, actual cassette tapes are also still a market, despite the fact that we have like CD sales have plummeted, DVD sales have plummeted, but there are still people. Like I know that there are people that have fucking like these home what do you call them? The not reel. The home reel theater.
Oh, the reel to reel, yeah.
Yeah, like where it's the actual projector that's based on a reel, because they're a niche group, right? They have money to burn, and that's their big thing. What's a cassette? Yeah. Jade is
like seeing the 3.5-inch floppy. I see you 3D printed the save icon.
Yes. This is the
oh my god!
Instead of saying okay boomer, instead we
those jokes with me.
No, we say okay Gen Z. That's like the Spider-Man joke of I saw this really old movie called Back to the Future, and all of us millennials were like, "That's people."
You know what? There was a lot of people in engineering that were working their ass off to get self-lacing shoes and hoverboards by 2015.
They were.
And I'd say 90% success.
Yeah.
Like watching Fox put on the real-life self-lacing shoes. That was a hell of a sight. Especially, with his disability, that's nothing but helpful.
The hoverboards just didn't happen though. Because
there was certain conditions. There was actually on a specialized track. There was an actual hovering
a giant
hoverboard.
Fucking magnet was that specialized track.
Like I said, it was a specialized track, but it existed.
That's
just not like it did in the movie.
Exactly. But in any case,
there was no CGI involved.
Yeah. So streaming future is likely to be it, and I think that. And what I predicted on Twitter, which really triggered the console fanatic market because they don't want to think about this. My prediction: PC will be a slower adopter just because of the other uses of PCs will kind of make it a slower adoption period, whereas consoles will adopt this faster. My prediction is that within the next 10 years, not the PS5, Xbox Scarlet, but the generation after that will be the last. Yeah, the PS6/Xbox whatever will be the last console generation.
It was either the beginning of this year or late last year. There was rumors that the Xbox Scarlet was going to be a form of a thin client.
No, you're thinking of the Anaconda. They were going to do 2 SKUs. They were going to do the Anaconda and the Scarlet. The Anaconda was going to be a streaming console.
Yeah. And the thing is, that's
as little information as we have so far, that could still happen.
That is possible. They may do a mid-generation release of that.
I think that's the reason why they're keeping the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X around.
Yeah.
Eventually, those are just going to become thin clients. That's why they don't care. Yep. They'll downgrade the games until they can't run anymore, and then they'll stream off them.
Yeah. I mean, I could absolutely. Oh shit!
I will say though, why they're saying that their older consoles won't become outdated by the newer one, is I think it's more or less going to be like same old Windows, entirely new hardware set. So it's going to be running the same operating system, and that's why it's not going to force the older generation to be outdated as effectively as past gaming consoles have done to their predecessors.
Booty already said that, which I think is, let's praise the name Booty, because I just think that's hilarious. But yeah, Matt Booty's basically already said that that they're going to treat it scalable like PCs. They're just going to treat it like a graphic setting. Where now, I already thought we were playing at lower than low PC settings. Apparently, we can go even lower.
Yeah, probably.
And that's what we're going to do.
No, the thing is that I think that my prediction though was the PS6, Xbox, whatever generation will be the last actual console generation for those guys. Now, Nintendo may stick around for longer because they have a certain niche appeal for their hardware. They actually are doing something different. Whereas I think part of the reason that Sony, and we saw Sony sign a deal with Microsoft. And no, it's not an Xbox thing. They didn't sign a deal with Xbox. They signed a deal with Microsoft. And I'm assuming it's so that Sony can build out. Yeah, they can use Azure, leverage Azure, in order to build out the PS Now service a little bit more robustly, so that it's a competitor to xCloud. And Microsoft doesn't care because they're getting their money. Like, people were like, why would they do that? That's a betrayal. No, this is corporations.
That's because people
Corporations
are
are
emotionally,
enemies.
not like businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Microsoft don't care if Sony makes money. They're just out there trying to get there.
Yeah, like, the thing is that people don't realize that they're not really competing that as much as people think they are. Like, you'll have
the fanboys are competing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the fanboys, the people with the tribal.
Phil Spencer's already said, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
That if Sony makes money, like, he said, I own the PS4. I own, and he said he owned the Wii U too.
Yeah.
The modern before the Switch. He said he doesn't, like, it's not his job to not get people to buy PS4s. It's his job to get people to pay Microsoft.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, if that means you can afford both consoles, go for it.
Yeah. And my thing is that my suspicion with once the PS6 gets launched, that'll probably be the last one, because you'll already have an Xbox thin client console. Everybody Morty. That's kind of what I suspected, by the way, on the lagginess, is that everybody else
that makes sense because more so than stream.
Yeah, because it's recording from my PC and I'm screen capturing Discord, so that Discord is being captured and my source is clean for me, but everybody else is seeing their stuff clean for them, and then all the other people are issues. Xaiphen's
the only person who hasn't distorted all.
Yeah, well,
I haven't been talking a lot. That's why.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Well, I think that's just odd because I'm closest in geographical location to Mort, so you'd think me and Mort would have the best connection.
I don't think location has anything to do with the issues we're dealing with right now. So
I'm pretty certain we're the server that we're running off of. I selected a central U.S. location for our server because we have 2 people East Coast, 2 people West Coast. So Kev, while you are close to me, you're bouncing to the central U.S. and then back over to me. So you're traveling pretty much the same distance as those 2 are.
I'm connected to a U.S. West server.
Yeah, it's showing U.S. West.
We might look at that then.
Yeah, same here.
I thought.
Do you think we should take a brief intermission and server to give the viewers a better experience?
We're 15 minutes from the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried.
We will sort this out before the next before the next party stream. So we'll have this sorted out probably after we get off the stream tonight.
You think we'll have it sorted out, but then there's Discord and them and their fuckery.
No. We'll have this sorted out. I didn't say that we'll have it sorted out with Discord. So, in any case, just going to say to all you console fanatics out there, I'm sorry to break this to you, but mark my words, next decade, the console hardware is probably going to be phased out, except for maybe Nintendo.
By 2035, I think consoles are going to be on the way out.
Yeah.
Well, see, they're going to consoles 2020. I think they're going to force these consoles to give you that full 10 years, and then we're going to get new ones.
Yeah.
Or get whatever they decide to do.
Well, the last generation was 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
It was 6 and 7. The PS3 was 6 and the Xbox 360 was 7. And they were talking about they wanted this generation to be just
about 7 years.
I think the only reason that the PS4 and Xbox One are so short is because the 2013 consoles are so trash. They were weak that they could not last a full decade. Otherwise, they would have done.
It's not going to get any better.
I don't consider the Pro and the Xbox One X as a different console generation. Those are part of the same generation.
They're the same console.
So their replacements are due up in after 7 years. You know, you look at, I think the longest run of any console lifespan was the Xbox 360, and that was 9 years.
PS2.
No, the PS2 had 11.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the PS2.
PS2. Yep.
But
that was 11 years.
PS2 barely edged it out, and that was the only one that went over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So hitting a full decade for a console,
the PS2 just stopped supporting it like early 2019.
Yeah. There was games still being made.
Well, they weren't making games. The last games for the PS2, I think, came out in like 2014.
Yeah,
but they were still like preparing them and replacing them and supporting the PS2. Xbox Live on the original Xbox didn't go down until like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Like they run these motherfuckers.
I'm not defining the lifespan by how long that the console has been supported by one means or another. I'm defining the lifespan of how long it's taken for them to get another generation replacement.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm going by how long you can like realistically keep the console, keep getting games for it, and they keep allowing
that.
You
that is a completely applicable description. That's more accurate as a lifespan. I'm just looking at generation to generation lifespans.
All right, generations. Yeah, those are going to be 7 to 10 years at this point.
Yeah. So
they go back to the 5-year generations, but they're not going to.
Yeah. So in any case.
2030, look for it.
I honestly, we're just going to circle on this, talking semantics. It's the consoles are going to be supported for as long as they can potentially get money and crank out of them. They may release refreshes of them, but yeah. Imagine the hell of only hearing Morty talking to himself. Ouch. I need some aloe.
Fallacy.
I need, by the way, that's the reason why I don't make the Mortiel fallacies anymore, because it was painful for me to even listen to myself talking.
Oh,
he needs more Kev on his streams.
Yeah.
Everybody hates their own voice. Just saying that.
Yeah.
In any case, let's talk about Shenmue 3, shall we?
I am not aware of anything with this article. I didn't get a chance to read it before our stream, so
I mean the headline says it all. They're doing the embargo list 2 days after the game comes.
Yep.
What in the fuck?
Yeah, and this isn't the first time we've talked about an issue like this. There was another game, I can't remember it offhand.
This is the first time I've heard of that does it like days after release. I heard it come out like the day of or like an hour after the midnight launch.
No,
but
there
never
was
like 48 hours after the launch.
What was that, Rose?
I think Anthem's lifted like an hour or so before the game launched, or it was an hour or so after.
It was
Assassin's Creed Unity
that really fucked up.
Assassin's Creed Unity did it like 2 hours after the launch.
So essentially,
that was it.
Yeah, Anthem's was,
and that game was fucked.
Was actually a week before. Andromeda was fantastic. I personally got to, I was neck deep in that one when that launched, because I was a big part of that community. So that one was 2 days before the launch of the game, but it was a week after people were live streaming and playing the game off of the EA,
which is utterly hilarious.
Origin Access or whatever.
People were already playing it, already telling their friends, live streaming, like, you can see this game was half baked, it's not ready to go.
And no, here's the real kicker. There were a group of people called the EA Game Changers, which are influencers, aka advertisers, who were streaming the game a week before release, talking about how great the game was.
Not going to name names, but there was one we were well acquainted with. Size 16s.
The thing is,
he was fucking damage controlling hard.
He was, but he eventually came around to it. The thing is I was damage controlling the thing originally too. We all were. I was just a little bit more open about certain criticisms, and there was others in that group that were as well. But it's
I openly took a stance and said I will not damage control for this game. This and 76, I did not damage control for either of those games.
Yeah,
I just said it.
But I do want to point out that for developers, like, Shenmue 3 has just been one shitstorm after another. Like, these guys need to hire a fucking PR firm and stop shit in the bed. And people need to stop giving them fucking money.
The game was supposedly crowdfunded on Sony Stage 3.
Yep.
Then they went and got a fucking publisher.
Yep.
Then they put it on Epic.
Yep. So no, these guys, I don't know if this is greed.
This is greed.
It's greed because they're just taking checks from whoever writes them.
Here's the thing. I don't know if it's greed or if they are having very quiet behind the scenes money woes that they're not telling anybody about. But yeah, they crowdfunded the game. They met their goals.
In fairness, I think about it, it might just be Deep Silver. Deep Silver could have did the Epic thing too.
Yes, no, Deep Silver did do the Epic thing because you remember Metro
with Metro too. So I think that's totally maybe a Deep Silver call.
It is. Deep Silver did
unlicensed gambling. They owe a lot of money to scary bookies. That's what it is. So they are
probably got caught up in loot boxes.
They are
guys. It's not gambling. It's surprise mechanics. Okay.
Surprise mechanics.
These surprise mechanics are going to lead to a surprise. I broke your knees, bitch. You didn't pay up in time.
Bitch better have my money.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to start getting wrapped up for the Crashed Pixels podcast today, as Xaiphen put it, because that's essentially what this has turned into, based upon Discord not liking it. I also have suspicions that I'm going to talk to the guys about after the podcast on what may be going on as well, and we'll see if we can sort something out. In any case, obviously, if this is your first time tuning into the podcast here, we do stream every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We do an alternating stream where one week we stream us playing video games together, trolling the shit out of each other. The month of November is Mass Effect month, so next week we will be playing Mass Effect. And then the month of December is going to be Dragon Age month, so we'll be playing Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer for that month because the A4 day, I guess.
Well, I mean, we did Killing Floor for October for Halloween. So
yes, we did. Yes,
and then just like we always do Mass Effect in November for N7 Day.
Yeah, and then Dragon Age in December for D4 Day, which they're now calling Dragon Age Day because they don't want people to think D4 as in Dragon Age 4. Anyway,
well, I think D4. I think Diablo 4. Praise Blizzard.
Yeah.
Praise
Yeah. So in any case, obviously, then on the other week, we do a podcast where us tech professionals get together and talk about the current goings on in the game industry, and then laugh at the stupid shit that developers like the guys at Shenmue do.
And consequences.
In any case, Kev, do you have any final thoughts for us?
My final thought is I'm back to streaming on Twitch. Consistently been doing it on Sundays and Mondays. So come catch me. I usually go Sunday evening, and then I go Monday morning. I'm trying to find out a schedule where I can really only do it on the weekends because of my work schedule. Trying to find some time to do it on Saturdays too, but with the podcast, family life, that's kind of difficult. But Sunday, Monday for sure. So twitch.tv/Glorious Kev. Trying to hit affiliate. I have followers. I just need the viewers and the chatters now.
Yeah. Also, as a small note, and this is the same thing goes for Rose as well. We're going to try to start sorting out whenever we do the party stream. We're going to try to see if we can co-stream as much as possible. Xaiphen will do some tech tests to see what he's able to do, but at least we'll be able to have at least perspectives from Kev and Rose when we do those, and we'll.
I actually was going to announce that with my final thoughts. I'm planning on co-stream or attempting to co-stream at lower resolution this next party stream. I'm going to be running at 960 by 540, so it is going to be game screen only. I might superimpose myself on camera on there, but there's not going to be or stream chat or anything like that up in there due to how low res it's going to be. It's not much point, so it's a see how well my upload rate can handle this, but if it's one of those things that proves to have some success behind it, I might continue on later than that. It will be on Mixer, YouTube, and Twitch. I will be restreaming to all three of those. And you can find me under Xaiphen on all three of those.
Xaiphen, Xaiphen.
Thanks for remembering we have audio podcast people. I did not.
Yes. Rose, final thoughts?
I've been starting to stream a lot as well. Primarily World of Warships right now, and co-streaming whatever the hell we're playing. Look I know I've said this the past couple of weeks, but between getting sick and all kinds of real life, I plan on getting a fucking video out on my goddamn YouTube channel eventually. Maybe this, I don't know, but an actual video of me talking about shit.
So because she broke up
And
in the
I've been
middle of that,
Outer
and
Worlds. Outer Worlds has been great.
yeah, just because some of that broke up, just to repeat it so it doesn't get garbled up. Rose said she was sick and stuff like that, so delayed her getting out a video that she's going to be releasing very soon, where she's talking about stuff. Yes, Discord's having loads of fun.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Last final thought. Fuck you, Discord. And you, Blizzard.
And you, Epic. And Rockstar.
President Z looks like Winnie the Pooh. There, now we're banned in China again.
It's not Z, it's
I mean,
she.
Blizzard's on my good side right now because I saw Diablo 4, so I don't hate them as much as I did when they were praising Winnie.
See, that's exactly what they fucking wanted.
I know. And I still want my Warcraft 3 Reforged. They were going to get my money anyway for that. And Diablo 4.
Like, hey, we're supporting a country.
Still.
We're supporting a country that literally puts people in fucking concentration camps and harvests their organs. But hey, Diablo 4 is fucking coming out.
Like I said, I'm going to give them the money to G2A.
Yeah. I'm going to say
G2A
this.
G2A is trying to. I think the CD key's not.
Pirate.
Yeah, I'm
you
going to
can't
say
pirate
this.
online games, bro.
Yeah.
True.
Any way that you can find a way to kind of fuck over Blizzard and hit their bottom line, that would probably be for the best until they can actually.
That's what I'm saying. Gray market all the way. I'm not giving them my money.
Yeah,
I'm not even going the humble route like I did with them.
Yeah, because
they don't get that level of respect.
Humble's not really hitting their bottom line as much. But anyway, we're gonna get signed off here for the night. We'll be back next week.
Better.
Yeah. We'll be back next week with some Mass Effect 3 goodness. I promise I won't play. I'll try to keep my Paladin gameplay at least to a minimum. So
Why?
I'm not.
He's gonna run in every match.
Because I want everybody else to have a chance to shine too. It's not fun whenever I'm just doing all the killing.
What's fun is when I managed to come close to leading with a damn. It's hard to get anywhere with that guy.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get signed off here, guys. Have a good night. Cheers, everyone. We're in stuff and things. Hopefully that works. Oh gosh. Boom.
I'm switching